Hey guys, Mike here with Glampin' Life, and today I'm going to walk through inflating a new set of tires. Sometimes this can be a little confusing because we tell you 0 PSI, or even if you put 1 PSI, you have to have a low pressure gauge that most people don't have. And honestly, you don't need a gauge. These wheels come in a box, whether you have the 12-inch with wheel bearings, the stock with the plastic bushings, or the 16-inch wheels. It's the same process. The first thing you do when you open the box, be careful if you're using a knife so that you don't slash through one of the tires. So the first thing you do is throw away, if there is a cardboard jig, throw it away. Don't use it. It's unnecessary. We try to take these out. Sometimes we miss them. The instructions, that's going to show you what the max air pressure is, and you never want to run max air pressure. There's a tag on the valve stem that's going to tell you in millimeters, which is 12 inches and 16 inches, what the most amount size-wise that you should have. There's a sticker on here that says pressure max in bars and PSI. It's 3 PSI. Again, you don't put the max in tires when you're going to be in the heat. Air pressure expands. What will happen if you put the max in here is this material will stretch. It does not stretch evenly most of the time, and you'll end up with a cone head. Most of our sets typically come with a hand pump just to speed this up, and I normally always say don't use air compressors, and the reason for it is an air compressor, you could dump a bunch of air in this tire on accident, and again, when you stretch this material out, it does not stretch back, so you will end up with an egg-shaped cone head. It will not roll as smooth. Balloon wheels are not like a car tire that's going to be completely a perfect circle where it's balanced. You're going to get a little bit of, I don't want to call it an uneven roll, but it's not going to be like driving a car down the highway at 60 miles an hour where you don't feel anything. These are balloon wheels. They're supposed to work great in the sand. They work pretty good on pavement and asphalt. They are low pressure, so they should squat. They should not feel like a basketball or a soccer ball or a football. Warranty does not cover. First off, there's no warranty with a balloon wheel from any manufacturer. If you get a wheel that's defective, that doesn't hold air from the start, for whatever reason, issues with the valve, there may be an issue with the seam, we will take care of you for that. But the minute you inflate these, there really isn't a warranty on them for wear and tear or use. If you damage them from too much air, unfortunately, that is not something we cover. So the wheels come in a box. They look like a square. So you've got 4 sides to your wheel. You're going to put just enough air in your wheel to start to pop those out. Your wheel's going to look lumpy and weird, and you're going to think this isn't right. It shouldn't look like that. It needs more air. Don't put any more air in it. Set them to the side overnight or go put them in the sun. The material will relax and smooth out. And then after that point, if you need to add more air, then you can. So 12-inch wheels. This does not fill up fast, and that's why I'm using it. I just want you to see. So the top and the right side are starting to pop out. Obviously, this is a little bit slower process when you're using your hand pump. Sorry, this doesn't always go on. So The best way to check these tires, get behind the tire, fingertips on the black plastic, and take your 2 thumbs and push down. So it's very soft and squishy. I'm probably gonna put just a little bit more. I can see it growing. So you can see my thumbs going down. I would never put more than this in the tires. And the reason for it is when you get a lot of weight in the cart and they squat down, you need that air to go somewhere else in the tire so that it's not stretching out the material. So I would take this and go sit it in the sun for a few hours and let the material relax and soften up. But yeah, so this is definitely probably the max air I would put in this tire. I'm gonna let just a little out. So really, I mean, even if you're running on the rims, this isn't a tire like a car that has a bead. This is an inner liner. It's an inner liner, so it can go as flat, as possible, and it's not going to leak. The only places this tire can possibly leak is if the valve stem is loose, the needle in the valve stem, or if this nut that holds the valve stem in place is loose. The only other way this tire can leak is if there's a small leak in the seam, which you can create if you put too much air in these tires. It's going to split this material. This isn't a stretchy material that's supposed to stretch. It's a stretchy material. It's just not intended to. It'll thin it out and it'll cause cracks. More importantly, it won't stretch evenly. So I would say this is good. I would leave it like that. I have a 16. And this demonstrates, when I talk about you should have a square profile, that is what I mean by, if you put too much air, this is going to lump out, which it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just signs that you have too much air in. So, again, you grab the rim of the wheel, take your thumbs, and you got to be, you should be able to press down like this. The 16s don't have nearly the sidewalls, so they're going to look really flat. And again, as long as you're not running on the black plastic rim, you're fine. So again, this is how you check them. You don't use gauges. This profile will square out as the material relaxes, and it'll be good. So this is kind of a long video, and I'm not trying to make it complicated, but this is by far the easiest way to explain how to inflate these wheels when they're new. Just inflate them so that the 4 sides, the 16s are the same way. They're dented in for shipping to fit in the boxes. Just put enough air into them to where those sides start to pop out. When all 4 sides pop out, check the squishiness, and then let them sit so that the material can relax. And then overnight, or put them in the sun for a few hours, half a day. You can put these on your cart and go out to the beach right away. You're not going to hurt anything. It's just not going to roll as smoothly as it would once they relax. But getting them out in the sun and the heat is definitely going to speed up the process of the material of this relaxing and smoothing out. But looking at it right now, it's like, wow, that's lumpy. That's not right. There's not enough air in it. There is. It's fine. You want them to squat. You want them to be squishy. That's why they do so well in the sand. They don't roll as easy on asphalt and concrete or the boardwalk when they're super squatty like this, but it's not that they're hard to roll. It's just when a tire's low, that's just how it works. It's trade-off. You're either going to dig trenches in the sand, get into your spot, and have a little bit smoother roll on, the asphalt and the concrete, or you're going to go with a balloon wheel that doesn't roll, quite as easy. And again, it's not that it rolls difficult. It's not that these wheels aren't meant for it. It's just when they're squatted, that's just how they roll on the hard pack stuff. But once you get into the sand, it doesn't get any better than a balloon wheel. So if you have questions, please let us know.